Okay, so this little bonus I made for you is all of the games that women play. This is like a comprehensive guide to everything I've seen over the past 10 years doing this and dating. So this is how we're going to break it down. Sex is the middle line right here. Okay, so then everything on this side of the marker board is everything that happens pre-sex with the games that women play. Everything that happens over here is post-sex with the games that women play. So this is before you guys are intimate. This is after you guys are intimate. Sex in the middle is the defining line. So there's two types of pre-sex tests that you're going to encounter. We're going to cover interest tests and shit tests. And there's even two categories of each. In person versus on the phone. Right? So interest tests in person, let's start over here. This is to test your interest level. So in person, what this looks like is getting you to invest into her, getting you to talk to her, getting you to emotionally like her. This maybe will include, you buying her a drink. Another thing that this could include is her trying to make you jealous. So something like that would look like maybe she talks to you for 5 or 10 minutes at the bar and then turns her back to you and talks to a different guy just to piss you off. That would be an interest test. Watching to see how you react to that. Another thing would be posting everyone on social media when she goes out that she's friends with in the group besides you. That's another interest test to see what you do or to see if you say anything. If you get reactive to these things, you fail. So these are interest tests that happen pre-sex. Another thing that happens over the phone or on the phone, a way that they do interest tests is through time delays. So she maybe will take anywhere from 8 to 48 hours to not text you back. That time delay, she's seeing if you have urgency and neediness. She's seeing if you double text her. You cannot do that. Once you text her, you let it sit. So they will exercise time delays. Another thing that they will do is they'll post on social media while you're on delivered or while you're on read. So she has a text from you. She sees it. You know she sees it because it says delivered. But now what she does is she goes and posts a social media story to let you know that she's active on social media, but she's pushing you away and she's ignoring you. You have to watch out for this. Essentially, anything on the phone includes her not replying or her appearing as if she's trying to pull away from you. That's a woman's entire game. Constantly pull away, constantly pull back, seeing if you chase. The second that you chase, now she doesn't want you. That's how a woman's brain operates. Now, pre-sex, you're going to notice shit tests, okay? So shit tests, we're going to go over in person and on the phone. In-person shit test looks like this. If you're on the date, like in person, it would be her flat out disagreeing with you. You look out at the sky and you say, those leaves on that tree are green, and she says, no, they're orange. Flat out disagreeing with you, okay? You saying that shirt on the rack is hideous. I can't believe anybody would wear that shirt. And she says, oh my God, I love it. She's going to say, you're lame. What are you talking about? Her disagreeing with you just to push your buttons. They might even overtly say that you're lame. They do this to see if you get reactive. The second you get reactive to it and try to self-qualify or qualify yourself to her is the second you lose. Majority of all these tests you can pass by literally not giving a fuck and just moving on with your day. Another thing that she might do on the date is challenge your beliefs. So if she's challenging beliefs, it would look something like this. You say, I love rock and roll music. It's the best genre. And she says, oh my God, rock and roll is terrible. Or she says, oh my God, don't you think rap music is way better? Or isn't pop music way better? Challenging your beliefs, seeing if you're going to backpedal, seeing how stone cold you are in believing what you believe. That's very important. You got to be stone cold and stoic and rational and believe in what you believe. Another thing on the date is getting you to risk shit. Let's say you guys are out boating. This is just an example. And there's a really big cliff and everybody's jumping off of it into the water. But you've heard of people do it, but you haven't seen anyone do it in person yet. And she wants you to go do it. She tries to get you to risk it. You don't know if there's rocks down below. You don't know what's down below, but she's trying to get you to risk it. And she might even call you a pansy. She might even call you scared. She's trying to do anything to get you to risk it. You can't fail this. If you fail that and you go risk it anyways, she might try to see what else she can get you to do. The second you take bait is the second she loses respect for you. Now, shit tests that you're going to notice on the cell phone. Number 1, leaving notifications on. Even if she's out on a date with you or hanging out with you. That would include any social media. That would include dating apps. That would include other men texting her. She wants you to see that other people are messaging her. This is a form of disrespect. You can tell her if you'd like to put that phone away, or you can tell her if you'd like to, remove it when you guys are dating. But in my opinion, I don't like doing that because then it looks like I care. I try to ignore all of these. Another thing is showing up late for the date. If she shows up late for the date, you maybe will notice 5-10 minutes. She tries to, on the phone, what you're going to notice is she doesn't text you. Okay, she doesn't say, hey, running late. She just shows up. So what you would tell her when she meets up with you is you say, look, in the future, if you're running late, I would appreciate if you actually let me know, because I don't think it's fair to have me waiting around like this. Do you understand? Make sure you ask her if she understands. She wants to see that you have that sort of dad energy. Another thing is just flat out playing dumb. You might notice over the phone she plays dumb and acts like she doesn't know what you're talking about, or she plays dumb and doesn't reply to some of your questions that you're asking her. Women do this shit on purpose to see if you care. If you pass all these and you don't care about the outcome and you act like she's just a normal, average, everyday girl, you're probably going to start sleeping with her. Once you start sleeping with her and somewhat of a relationship is starting to form, the first type of test that you're going to notice is booty whipping tests. She wants to see if you're weak for her. She wants to see if you're whipped. That would include getting you to skip shit. If Monday is your bench press day and you're doing chest, she wants to see if she can convince you to go get drinks with her and the girls after work. You have to be able to tell her no. In a relationship, women are looking for that dad-father energy. She's looking for the guy to say no. Moving plans for her. If you have a big fishing trip with your friends, she wants to see if she can get you to cancel it or reschedule just for her. Another thing, getting you to do shit you don't want to do. That would include saying, hey, it's Saturday morning after we go get coffee, let's go to the mall and you can look at new makeup with me. She knows you don't want to do it, but she just wants to see if you have the balls to say no. Another thing would be sex withholding. Just acting like she's disinterested in you, just to see if it pisses you off. So these are the booty whipping tests. When women do this, guys get really needy. Like if she's withholding, they'll be like, oh my God, why am I not attractive? They start to self-qualify and then they lose all the attraction. Or they just play her game by doing what she wants to do and they start skipping all of their masculine priorities and then she leaves anyways. So these are the booty whipping tests that I've seen. And then I've also seen jealousy or thoughts of being alone tests. So this would be like her pulling back, slowly not answering calls, more girls' nights out, suggesting that she wants to go on trips without you, or even threatening to leave. The way that you combat this and the way that you pass these tests is either by, number one, not caring, and you get to pick and choose and you say, well, you do you, or you say, I really don't give a damn. That's one way. Or another thing that you can do is you can actually tell her what you expect out of her and the relationship. So if you guys are exclusively dating and she says, oh, I want to go on a girls trip without you, you can say, well, you can do that, but there's probably going to be consequences because I don't know if that's the type of woman I want to be dating. You tell her the consequences. Another thing would be if she threatens to leave you, you not caring is your best bet. You look at her and you say, okay, door's right there. You can go. And if she sees you can let go of that emotion at the drop of a hat, you're signaling strength. So these are all of the games that women play. This is a comprehensive guide, and you're going to probably need to know all of these. Okay, I call this the Man of Steel Sex Guide, so that way you can have optimal performance. We're going to be covering sex anxiety, premature ejaculation, my guide to giving her good orgasms, and then the biggest secret that you probably are unaware of. So first and foremost, okay, never masturbate. Just never do it. I personally believe that is not how Mother Nature intended intimacy to happen. Obviously, when you are masturbating, you have a mental connection between your hand and your genitals, and that is not how it should be. So never touch your penis. You're going to notice after about 10 to 14 days, when you're around a woman, you get an instant brick, like all the way. So you're no longer nervous because you have a full wood, you have an instant brick, you're ready to rock and roll, and you don't have that mental stimulus from your hand. So that's important. Number 2, no dirty websites. Dirty websites will hijack your dopamine and take it away from you, so that way you don't get aroused from a real woman. Now you're only getting aroused through pixels on a screen. Not good. This is why you're having anxiety, is because these websites and seeing those positions of other people is not natural. That's not how Mother Nature naturally intended man and woman. So Number 3, no social media. Social media, you're constantly seeing big booty models. You're constantly seeing women post provocative photos. Once again, you're hijacking your dopamine. Last but not least, no caffeine. You're going to notice if you stop drinking caffeine, your anxiety drops. Your anxiety drops because caffeine stimulates you, and that stimulant, okay, makes you release cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. Your body doesn't want to have sex while it's in a stressful state. Okay? So this is why you're having sex anxiety. If you do this and you get rid of these things, that's going to take care of probably 85% of this. Now, number 2, premature ejaculation. If you suffer from this, you have to understand you're just nervous. By getting rid of all the steps, or by doing all the steps when it comes to the sex anxiety that I just talked about, your nerves are going to calm down. You're going to get this big, hard, instant brick. It's going to be harder for you to come. Now, that's the first thing. The next thing you can do is when you're with the girl, you just want to tell her to go slow, or that you like going slow, and you want to tell her that you don't like to hook up very quick, okay? You're going to tell her, hey, I like to go slow, or I like to take my time, so don't try to rush me, right? Even notice the dynamic flip. Women are so used to having men rush to the bedroom. In this instance, you're basically telling her to put the brakes on, and you're saying, I don't like to just hook up with any girl quick. Cool. Now you have time to build more comfort until you're fully comfortable. Now, this leads me to my next example. You want to actually get to know her. This is why the pace that you want to take the relationship at is important, so you can actually self-reflect and monitor and make sure that you're not nervous. So that's next, okay? That's how you cover premature ejaculation. Now, what is the guide to giving her good orgasms? The first piece of this is you got to understand this is a terrible language play. Because as soon as you say, how do I give her good orgasms? Now you're making the sex about her. Women hate when a man tries to please them and makes the pleasure about her. Women are natural nurturers, and women enjoy giving men pleasure, right? Women enjoy being the ones who serve the man. So this is a terrible language play. If you make it about her, rest assured she will not have an orgasm. She comes oftentimes knowing that you're pleased. Well, how do you do this? You oftentimes do the positions you want to do, and you want to read her body language so you can monitor your stroke and your pace and your tempo with the rhythm of her body. So you do the positions that you want, that you like, that you love to do, and you monitor the rhythm of her body language. Now, simultaneously, you're going to be saying all the right words in her ear. You're going to be saying all the naughty words in her ear. You're going to be making sure that the words are giving mental stimulus. And oftentimes women will come just from hearing all of these sorts of words. So keep that in mind too. The guide to giving her really good orgasms is making sure that you're leading sex the way that you find pleasurable, because she gets pleasure knowing that you're pleased. Now, my biggest secret to all of this is you getting into the mindset of never coming, because the more you retain, the better. And I'm not just talking about retain as in you're not masturbating. I'm talking about even if you retain during sex, you'll notice the duration, the amount of minutes or even hours you can have sex for extends, okay? Because you're not worried about your orgasm and releasing. You're actually worried about retaining it. So that even takes, anxiety off you too, because if you go into sex and you tell yourself, well, I'm not going to come no matter what, you got to understand if she makes you come, this validates her. She gets validation knowing that she can make you release. So keep that in mind. That's my biggest secret. The less you come, okay, and you just are having sex, the less you come, the more you retain. You're going to notice you can extend the duration minute for minute. She's going to come more frequently. So that is the main premise of this entire guide. Now, to take this a step further, there's two things you obviously want to focus on with a woman. You want to focus on the clit, her clitoris, and the G-spot. Now, the clit, here's the thing. A woman will always know what feels best for her, which means I like her to be the judge of that. I will actually take her hand and place it right there, and she knows what to do. She'll instantly start massaging it accordingly. That way you don't have to worry about that. Now, the G-spot, this is a couple inches above inside, okay? And you're going to notice like the roof of it is like, it has like a ridge to it. One of the things I recommend you invest in, you can get this like online or probably anywhere. So I actually have one of these. It's called like a sex wedge or a sex pillow. If she lays back on this, it obviously elevates her hips. So that way it hits her G-spot better with every stroke, and it makes it way easier for her to come multiple times. So this is the guide to having way better sex and to actually mastering, sex and your own, shaft, if you will, for yourself. Okay, so this is my advanced texting guide. This is another little bonus I made for you guys. So we're going to go over stacking voice messages, qualifying her and validating only good behavior, and then texting without setting dates and why this works. So first, let's go over stacking, okay? One of the biggest issues that men run into with texting is they talk too much. But you might be wondering, well, how do I talk to her and keep my conversation, or how do I text message her without over communicating? Okay, what you're going to do is you never send paragraphs. So what I like to do is I like to send 3 or 4 messages at once, because all of these individual messages is like one text message because it all came in at the same time. So I'll give you an example. If she says, hey, what are you up to? I say, oh, or if she says, hey, how's your day going? I'd say, good so far, about to grill, going to be so good, or going to be so tasty, and then I'd send her a pic of the food. So notice, each of these is just a very short line. Like, oh, day is good so far, about to grill, will be so tasty, here's a pic of the food. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this because now she gets 4 notifications of me. It's going to go bing, 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 and all 4 come through. She will get a surge of dopamine every single time she sees that come through, because there's multiple notifications lighting up dopamine in her brain saying, hey, someone's trying to talk to you. Someone wants your attention. Women love attention. Then when she doesn't hear from me for 4 to 6 hours afterwards, she's wondering if I'm ever going to text back. That causes women to engage deep in their emotions and start to crave you. So men do not type paragraphs. If you type paragraphs, you're going to look like a woman. Men have to go direct, especially on text. So the next thing that I like to do is voice messages. Now, the reason why voice messages work, and this especially works well if you have like a slow, controlled, calming, or deep masculine voice, what you're going to notice is that the voice messages is a direct guide to her soul. And what I mean by that is words equals mind penetration. Her getting to hear you naturally raises her state of arousal and her attraction. So I like to just do basic progressions of logically walking her through how a conversation and how a date should go. So think of this as like a funnel, okay? You just put her through the funnel. First you text, that's the first piece of the funnel. Now you lead to a voice message. Maybe a day or 2 later you guys FaceTime each other, and then as she likes you, you take her out on a date. Logically, that's how it works. Right? If you were going to be intimate with a woman, you wouldn't just skip all the little steps and go right to the bedroom. First, maybe you'd hold her hand. Then you would kiss her, and so on and so forth. So that's next. Now, I will tell you this. A masculine man never uses emojis, okay? You're never trying to give emotion. What we do apply, however, is we like to qualify her and validate good behavior. So here's how I would qualify a woman. I might say something like, I'll take you out if you're good energy only, or I will take you out if you're a good vibe, right? And this is going to get her to qualify to say, oh yeah, all my friends all say I'm a good vibe. All my friends always love me. I'll be fun. I'll be nice to you. Now she's in your frame. The reason why you have to do this is because women need fair. A man who knows how to treat them fairly is what their parents would do, aka father figure, aka dad. So the reason why this is important is because dad is not a pushover. So here's what you do. On your cell phone, you heart or you give a heart to her texts that you loved, because that would be fair. If you loved it, you would give that reply. You like the texts that are neutral and that you kind of just like them. And feel free to actually give negative, give a negative response and dislike the text messages that she sends that you don't like. From time to time, you can also leave her on read or leave her on delivered, where you don't respond or you don't reply. This is qualifying her and validates only her good behavior, and it shows dislike to the bad behavior. When women see that, they're like, oh my gosh, I have to actually act accordingly with this guy, which is what they want. Now, number 4, texting without setting dates. If you do this, it looks high value and it looks pre-selected. It also looks like you're not needy to see her. If you get needy, she will pull away. And what this feels like to her is it's like you're there, but she does not necessarily have you. Since she does not necessarily have you, she wants you even more. So here's a note. All of this is shades of gray. Text messaging is not black and white. It's not something that you can just teach as in yes and no. All of this stems down to personality congruence. Anybody telling you that they can fundamentally package up and format a specific way in a sequence to have a regimented text message conversation is lying. That's not how it works. It's shades of gray, and it's learning what is congruent with you and your own personality. So what you're going to notice with a lot of this is you are basically, in a nutshell, a lot of their games that they do, time delays and whatnot, you're doing a lot of this stuff. For example, if she gets a great text sequence from you, and then all of a sudden she doesn't hear from you for a while, that's a lot of the games that they play as well. So keep that in mind, right? This is a good overview of how to text. And this is going to make it so that way you actually have a firm understanding on the dynamic of where to take things with women. Do not be afraid to leave women on red or to not reply to women sometimes for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. A lot of times that will heighten their state of arousal and their attraction for you. So keep that in mind. You cannot be urgent. You cannot be needy. Sometimes with my text messages, I will extend it days and weeks. Be sure to keep that in mind. A woman does not want to see a man is glued to his phone 24/7. Even if she gets a text from you in the beginning every other day, that might even be a good start to learning how to get rid of that cell phone dependency. Okay, this is my first date hook protocol. So that way you get a second date and she 100% wants to reach out to see you. And this will actually make it so that way she is in the frame of wanting to see you again really quick. And I'm going to show you why all of these situations work and why all of these steps work like a charm. It's very primal. It's very caveman-like. It's very masculine. And this is how we do this. So the first step, and this really does apply for like dinner dates or like if you guys went and got ice cream together or lunch or something where you're sitting down eating, this hook protocol, or like I call this like my first date hook. This protocol requires food. You're going to go front end game mode and you're going to act like a total just masculine man and you're going to have basically bad manners, right? You come in, you act however you want, you sit down, you order. Okay, cool. What you're going to do is you're going to order tons of food. So make sure you're hungry. Women like to watch a man eat. A man who can put down a lot of food, it does a few things. It shows that you're bigger than her. It shows that you eat more than her, and she just is going to feel safe around you. Like dad eats a lot. The father eats a lot. That's like a known thing. Like a lot of times if you ask women about their dads, she's going to go, oh yeah, he eats all the time. So you want to eat a lot. A lot of times when I go out on a date, I'll order 2 or 3 meals all the time and dessert sometimes because I'm trying to do one thing. I'm trying to signal abundance. So when she orders, buy her a bunch too. Buy dessert for both of you. Just buy a bunch of food and make sure she eats as much as she wants to. And sit there like a dad would. You sit there and go, dig in, eat up, dig in. Okay? You're directing her and you're leading her. You're signaling abundance. I can't stress this enough. The reason why women, if you look at social media posts, the reason why women constantly take pictures of their food and post pictures of their food when they go out to eat is because you are signaling abundance of calories. The reason why women like to see abundance of calories is because this stems into survival. So you're showing here that you can provide. You have resources. Now, then all you're going to do once you eat like a total caveman sitting there, acting however you want with bad manners, she's going to laugh and giggle the whole time. As she giggles, you're going to know that she's falling head over heels slowly. You're going to just leave abruptly with zero emotion and zero expectation. You don't have any expectation to see her again. You don't have any expectation to say, hey, do you want to go back to my place? Nothing. If you do that and you just leave abruptly, give it a couple hours or maybe 1 or 2 days at most, and typically the woman will reach back out and she'll say, oh my God, I had so much fun eating with you. I can't wait to see you again. This is the exact protocol. It's only 4 steps. Bad manners, order tons of food and eat all of it. Buy her a bunch of food too to signal abundance of calories and that you have resources to funnel over to her or to give to her, and then leave with no emotion and no explanation and no expectation. That is the step-by-step process. Okay, so this is called 10 Game. This is the guide to getting 10s, and this is all about in-person game. And the reason why we do this is because the words are the fastest way to make her feel something in her soul. So here's what you got to know. The hottest girls that are the 10s, right? The ones who are super, 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 super beautiful. These women typically only get messaged on social media and on dating apps because guys don't have any balls to actually talk to them. So these women are used to guys who usually have really high status, but guys who are usually not the best verbally and don't demonstrate a lot of masculinity characteristics. I'm going to be showing you the best way to demonstrate true front-end masculinity characteristics that will make her want to see you. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to just walk up to her dumb and delusional, almost brain dead, like I've taught you in the series in Front-End Game, because you having no filter and just walking up to her however the hell you'd like shows that you have balls. That's number one. No filter to a woman equals, oh wow, he has balls. So even though on the outside looking in, or even though most guys would look at you and go, oh, look at that stupid guy, he has no chance. To her, this is registering as big balls. To her, she sees a man's man who's masculine. That's first. Next, you're going to say something along the lines of a question, and you're going to ask her a question that qualifies her. You're going to say, are you a pretty face like all the rest, or is there more to you that I should know? Something along these lines. Don't read too much into what I wrote on the marker board because this is not a pickup line. You just want to say something along this sort of narrative of, is there more to you that I should meet? Is there more to you that I should see? Right? Are you just a pretty face like all the rest, or is there more to you that I should know? The reason why I like to say like all the rest is because I almost want her to feel like there might be something better about her than the other girls, because women always want to do better, especially than the competition. So then I ask her and I say, is it worth it for me to XYZ, right? Is it worth it for me to talk to you? Is it worth it for me to get to know you? Is it worth it for me to take you out sometime? Would it be fun? Are you good vibe? Are you good energy? I qualify her. I say whatever I want. I walk up dumb, delusional, and brain dead. There's only one more step to this. If she says yes, and she probably will say yes, you're going to do this in the easiest way. You're going to say, hey, my phone is dead. Make sure your phone's actually off if you do this. You say, hey, my phone's dead. I got to go. I'm meeting friends out for lunch over here. You tell her you got to go. You add some sort of reason you have to exit the interaction quickly so she has a desire to see you. You say, hey, my phone's dead. I got to go. But put my number in your phone. You can text me sometime. And then she gets out her phone and you can type your number into her phone. So now when you do this, notice she is the one coming to you. She has a reason to message you. You are not in the position pursuing. You are now actually being pursued by the woman. When it's quick like this, a girl who's a drop dead gorgeous 10 out of 10, she's going to look at you and go, oh my God, a guy finally who has confidence to approach me. And she's going to say, that's everything I've ever wanted. I've only just wanted a real man who's not afraid to be one. So this is the process. You just walk up to her. You say something along these lines that qualifies her. And then you tell her that your phone is dead and that you have to go. So that way you put your number in her phone. Now, this is also hilarious too, because I've talked to you guys about father energy or dad energy. Only a dad's phone would be dead. And it's funny because when I picture that, I picture like an early 2000s flip phone, right? Like that's the typical dad narrative. So keep that in mind. This works perfectly. Okay, this is my guided approach playbook for any situation and any circumstance. Oftentimes guys like to debate. They're like, should I go direct and directly approach her and state my intent, or should I be indirect? This will solve this whole problem because it's not like a yes or no answer. The truth is you can do both, depending on the circumstance, and you should do both because different circumstances and where you're at dictates how you should behave. So you want to use your location of where you're at as the guide. The location and where you're at dictates if you should go direct with how you speak versus indirect. All this takes is a level of social awareness and social calibration and actually opening your eyes and looking at the room around you. Instead of focusing on the woman and the proper way to get the girl's number or whatever, actually just say, hey, what's going on here? So I'll give you an example. What we do is we're going to be direct in certain circumstances where it requires us to be. This would be like in passing. You guys are just passing by each other. Maybe you're on the street. Maybe you're shopping. Maybe you guys are walking down the sidewalk or you're on a bike trail or a running trail. Sure, ask her how her bike path or her run is going and then go direct, okay? State your intent and what you'd like. So don't beat around the bush. Women hate when a guy is beating around the bush, and she can tell if you're beating around the bush in a circumstance that would require a bit of balls and require you to be a bit direct. If you go direct, use the guide that I just gave you as the little bonus in the previous module where I called it, 10 game, or like the perfect guide to actually make sure a girl who's very attractive wants to reach out to you. Use that playbook because that's more direct. You walk up to her, you state what you want, you ask her if it's worth your time getting to know her and if she is bringing the right sort of energy and vibe that you're looking for. And then all you do is you ask her if she'd be open to putting your number in her phone because yours is dead. So that's when you would go direct. Now, when do you go indirect? Indirect is if you're at like a party, okay? You're at a party, there's a lot of people, you're at the bar, a lot of people, you're at the gym. You're seeing this woman frequently in public. You're at the gym. Okay, let's look at when you would go indirect and why. Why would you go indirect here? Well, the first reason is because this is a place where you're going to be seeing them often. If it's the gym, you might have to see that girl every single day, Monday through Friday at noon when you go work out. You want things to be smooth, okay? Another place you're going to see them often is like at a party or at a bar. If you guys are at a bar for the next 3 hours, you might see her multiple times through the night. And if it goes south, you don't want to ruin your chances with any of the other women in that room if they watch what just happened. So the second reason why we go indirect in these circumstances is because now friends are involved. Okay, if friends are involved, that's an even bigger level. Because now you have to win over the friends, right? So now you have to make the group like you. You can't be as direct with your intent. So where you are dictates how to act. This is my guided approach playbook. Any circumstance you are in, this is my guide. Use the location as your guide. Take a quick half second, look at the room or look at the location that you're in and say, how would I do it in this circumstance? You see that pretty girl right there? What's going on around her? Make your approach depending on where you're at and what the environment of the room is like. Okay, so I titled this Inbound Effect, and this is important if you want women to approach you first when you're out. What inspired me to make this for you is I have a friend who's been in a relationship for a lot of years. He's actually about to get married, and he will consistently have women approach him first, and I'm going to be explaining why. So this module is great if you want women to approach you first, you want them to talk to you first, and even validate you and try to win you over. So if you want the woman to approach you when you're out and you want her to try to win you over, this is how you do it. What you're going to do is you want to go out and you want to act like you already have a girlfriend. And see, this is so important because what inspired me to make this module is I noticed the interest that my friend would get when he would go out. Women can almost just sense that he's taken, which gives him that pre-selection value, which makes other women want him even more. So here's kind of why this happens like this. So here's the process why this works so well. If you have a girlfriend, women can almost just sense it on you, which naturally gives you that pre-selection value, which makes them want you even more. So this is what you have to do. You go out and you act like you already have a girlfriend, but you cannot just act like you have any girlfriend. You have to act like you have an amazing 10 out of 10 model. Because if you think how a man would act if he has a 10 out of 10 model, or he has a 10 out of 10 woman of his choice, how would he be acting? Well, he probably would be super happy every day because he knows he has a beautiful woman by his side. But on top of that, he probably would not want to mess it up, which means he's going to be surface level with his conversation. So I'm going to explain how you do this. The first piece of this is when you go out, you appear super happy. You are operating in your own world. You're happy to be by your friends. You're present in the moment. If you're present in the moment, she's going to see that you are naturally at a calm state. Next, you will engage in surface talk or surface level communication, meaning you'll throw out maybe a line or two, or you'll say just a little something, you'll put it out there, you're happy, you're energetic, you throw out something, you put something out there, but then you pull it away. Why would you do that? Because this is what a person who's taken would do. A person who's already in a relationship and they are claimed or they're taken or they have a girlfriend, if they're not wanting to mess that up, right, just think about this logically with me. Naturally, they're going to maybe talk and communicate with everybody, but they don't want to give any false indicators of investment or any false indicators of attraction. They don't want to display interest to that other person. The woman can feel that. She can feel that you're pulling that away once you've made your statement or two, or you've talked to the group briefly and you said a couple things. She can feel you pull that away, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to not give off any signals that you're interested in any of them. She can feel that disinterest because you're already taken. Now it appears like you already have a woman in your life, and now this makes them want you even more. So this is what I call the inbound effect. If you kind of try this and test this for yourself, especially when certain circumstances call for it, you're going to notice how well this works. Okay, so today I'm showing you how to run the perfect FaceTime call. I'm going to show you everything I do to seal the deal, so that way I get dates, and that way the women want to see me once I meet them. So I had to kind of learn this the hard way through a lot of trial and error, but I'm going to show you the best possible way you can do this, and this is pretty epic because I show you a lot of little tricks you can use. So let me give you a few examples. Maybe you might meet a girl online, maybe a girl through direct messenger, maybe a girl on a dating app, and she wants to see you, right? So I'll give you an example. About a week ago, I had a girl actually inbox me first on Instagram, and she messaged me something, and I asked if she wanted to see me. She said yes, but first she wanted to FaceTime. Okay, great, we can get to know each other. So some of you might be sitting there thinking, oh, well, she inboxed you first. That means you've sealed the deal. No, not so fast. Before she wants to take the time to meet me in person, she wants to gauge who I am and how I operate. So what do you got to do? You have to FaceTime them. So right off the bat, I'm going to tell you exactly how to FaceTime a girl, because it is all in the setup and creating the illusion of certain frames of value so she looks at you as a masculine man. So step one, you need to show and you need to exercise your strong suit. For me, my strong suit is obviously my body because I've been lifting weights in the gym. So I'm going to show you one of the ways that I do this, where I demonstrate some sort of like physical appearance on FaceTime. Most guys are stupid and they FaceTime like this and they say hi with their like chin tucked down like this, and this is very bad. So my FaceTime calls have a complete process. The first thing that I do is I actually get my computer, okay, and I go like this. Are you able to see my, can they see my computer by any chance?
I can open it up.
No, that's fine. I want to keep this raw and just rolling. So I maybe move the tripod back just a little bit as we do this, because this is good. They can. I want them to kind of see this for this.
Well,
angle.
I can zoom out. I'm zoomed in.
Can you see the computer?
Now I can. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I do is I will actually take my computer, and what I do is I prop it over to the side like this. I take my phone, as you guys can see, this is my cell phone, and I want to make sure that the girl can actually still hear me, so I don't want to cover the bottom speakers. And I go like this, and I set my phone just like this. So are they able to see the side of the phone sitting here? You guys can see this, I think, right? Side of the phone sits here. Now, why do I do that? Because I just took the angle from down with my chin to up. Now she can see some of my upper body. It might be a slightly more attractive angle, right? You want to make sure you're well groomed. You want to make sure you're wearing something appealing. Now, this is only step one. There's a second step to this. You want to make sure the location that you're in is as high value, if you want to call it that, or as nice or shows any sign of status as possible. I don't care if you're in an apartment and you only have one painting or one picture on the wall, right? Try to make it so that way what she sees is she sees the artwork. Okay, so if she sees the artwork or she sees whatever, that's gonna look like you're a bit more higher level or you have more status going for you. Okay, so that's only the first thing that I do. So I would recommend go in any location in your house that demonstrates you have a nice spot or even you have a nice wall behind you. Make it look good. Presentation is everything. Women are oftentimes going to gravitate towards whatever is the shiniest object, right? For me, I might have like a nice backdrop, or like there's some nice, you know, in this kitchen, there's some nice cupboards right here. There's a little bit of like a rock wall right here or some stone. So I might kind of tilt like this and show this, right? You can see the nice scenery behind me a little bit. And now she can actually see me face on. I can show physique. You can do that if you have, like, use whatever you have to your advantage. That's what I do. Now, the next part about this is really in depth. I want to break the ice as smooth and as nonchalant as possible. And here's how I do this. In the beginning of the FaceTime call, I never under any circumstances want to give her 100% of my undivided attention. So I'm not sitting here looking at her like this. What am I doing? I'm acting like I'm doing something. I'm carrying on with my day. And I'm going to show you the best way to do this. The best way you do this is you want to eat in front of the woman. Women think it is so hot and so attractive when a guy eats a lot of food. Now there's a few reasons for this. First, it shows you're bigger than her. Second, it shows you can handle more food than her. And third, women are survival creatures, so they're drawn to excess calories, okay? Anytime you have food, watch a woman light up if you give her like a piece of pizza or something, and watch how happy she gets for a second. So here's what I do. I act like I just got done cooking, or I set the FaceTime call for when I'm eating dinner, so it's actually real and I'm actually eating it this time, and I want abundance. So here's how I do this. Let me give you an example. What I'll do, stay right there, I'll be back. So what I do, let's say hypothetically here, let's say each of these pieces of food, we're gonna just name it something else. So this is a full New York strip steak, right? Even though it's a grapefruit. This is a full plate of fries and ketchup that I made from the air fryer. And I want you to imagine this is a full take and bake pizza that I just put in the oven. And I made this pizza. So now, she's like, oh, what are you doing? Or what are you up to? And notice my attention, my focus isn't on her. I'm sitting there cutting the steak. I go, hi, let's say her name's Kayla. I go, oh, hi, Kayla. And I'm like looking down, I'm eating it. And then I'll cut off a piece, or let's say I take one of the French fries and I dip it in ketchup. And even though, so my phone is right here where the computer is, and I'll dip it in the ketchup and I'll go, open up, right? And she'll go, so it's a joke, right? It's like she bit it through the phone. She's eating through the phone. Why is this so important? Look at my presentation compared to most guys. First off, most guys are scared shitless staring at her, and they're staring at her and all of their attention's at her, and she can feel that high interest. Me, I'm rolling up to this as nonchalant as possible. Here's my full New York strip steak. I make a full plate of air fryer fries, and I have a full pizza that I just pulled out of the oven, and that's what she sees. So now, and then when she says, oh, what are you doing? What are you up to? Oh, I'm just reading, blah, 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 whatever. I go, oh, take a look at all my food. I go, oh, look at this. I'm so hungry. I go, look, doesn't this look so good? And she's like, oh, yum, that looks so good. Why do you have to do this? Women are survival creatures. How they think and how they process information, a lot of it is still the same from 500 to 1,000 years ago. So the guy who could hunt, the guy who knew how to farm, the guy with abundance of calories, 100% makes her feel more safe. So demonstrate calories any way that you can. Fat, carbs, and sugar in that combination, or fat, carbs, salt, sugar, in those combinations, it makes her feel good. So I'm showing food, my attention is not fully on her, and I'm nonchalant. So now here's the gold with all of this. As she sees me eating, here's what's happening to her anxiety and her nervousness from meeting a new person, because you have to remember, women get nervous meeting new people too. So you can feel her anxiety and her nervousness throughout that first 10 minutes. It goes down and down and down and down and down, and you can watch it until she's completely comfortable, and it feels like she's talking to her mom or her dad or her brother or her cousin or somebody she knows on a one-to-one basis. And now I'm not a stranger. Now I'm this big, stupid caveman dude cutting up steak, feeding her fries through the phone. Now I'm providing for her psychologically in her head. I'm literally providing for her, and I'm not making the focus all about her. This is complete gold, because when the focus is not all about her, now she has time to banter. Now she has time to actually joke around with you and be a woman. And now she slowly starts to fall in love and want to see you. And she's going to laugh the whole time as she watches you eat all of this stuff. So this is only the first part of the FaceTime date. Now I do a second part here that I'm going to show you in just a second. Okay, so now here's the second part to this. Let's say I'm finishing my food and I'm talking to her casually and nonchalant, and I'm not giving her a lot of attention because I'm focused on the food. There's a second part to this. Now when I'm done eating, I'm going to location change. Okay, so I'll show you what I do. One of the things I would do is I'd like grab the phone and I'd still talk to her, but now I'm at the down angle acting like I don't care. And yeah, she just sees the bottom of my chin or wherever in my house. And I'm gonna do something really smooth and casual. So I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna grab like a sparkling water or something. You know, I'm gonna keep holding this phone so she can hear me. I'm gonna be casual and cool as a cucumber and set down the phone so she just sees the wall. And it's still, I'm talking to her, but it's very casual and nonchalant. And she's like, oh wow, this guy's not trying super hard. Now here's where the switch happens. Now I'm going to location change with her. So as I'm holding the phone, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, I'll actually show you what I did yesterday. So I just literally walked upstairs to one of my favorite spots to sit, and I'll show you what I do. So I'm still talking to her, and the reason why I did this is the girl said, "Oh, show me your house," or "Give me a little tour." And this is very common. The girl's gonna say, "Oh, let me see what your house looks like. Let me see what your apartment looks like." If you're outside, she's gonna say, "Oh, let me see what your backyard looks like." So like up here, I have a pool table. So I just, showed her the pool table. And then what I did was I sat right here and I went just like this. And I set my water down that I'm drinking. This is great. And I lean back like this, and now I'm giving her 100% of the attention. Before down there, I was nonchalant, and I got her nervousness to go down to 0. Now is where I want to talk to her man to woman. So now that her anxiety threshold and her nervousness is all the way down, and I calmed her, now I want to actually slowly seduce this woman. So now what I'm going to do is I'm laying here, and now she gets 100% of my undivided attention. Now I'm talking to her fully man to woman, fully confidently. And everything that I'm saying, there's vocal tone added. She's getting bashful sometimes. She's getting playful. You'll watch her play with her hair. You're going to watch them get a little bit nervous and anxious that you're talking to them this masculine and this direct. And then you're going to watch their, sometimes their face might even go flush from just nervousness, or they're super attracted to you. And that changeover, when now you can talk to a man to woman, one-to-one like this and finish off the call, is perfect. And you want to end the call after about 20 to 30 minutes. You guys got to know each other. And then you just say, "Okay, my friend's coming over," or "I got this to do," or "I got that to do, so I have to go." Always make sure you leave the FaceTime call on a high note when she's having fun, so that way she has a reason to miss you. And then what you also want to do is always be the first one to leave the call. If she has to leave the call first, that means she's sick and tired of FaceTiming. You want to make sure you exit it first so she misses you and she chases that investment. So this is the second part. I talk to her very direct, and now when I'm staring at her, I'm looking into her soul. Like before, I wasn't giving her any attention. Now I'm staring directly at her. I'm talking directly to her. I'm making her feel like a woman. I'm talking to her very direct and very confident, and they love this. And this is the 2-part process of how I get dates from FaceTime, if that's the angle that I choose to use, or if that's how I met the woman through the phone.